Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Kevin, and this is your message and meditation for Monday. Let's see, it is the 29th of March 2021. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you for tuning in today. Let me just move this microphone down a little bit so that you can probably hear. There you go. Whoops, there we are. Um, Yes, I had a good Sunday. It started off with all of you. And if you're tuned in live, thank you. If you're on the replay, well done. Um, I want to get right to the message because it's a good one today. Instead of rambling on. Let's see. There we go. Boom. There. Okay. So, two new cards popped up from the decks. Keepers of the Light, Oracle cards by Kyle Gray. And I think the images that are in these cards are Lillian Moses' images. Yes, they are. So the first one, depicted as Freya, which to me sort of looks like Luna, the big goddess of the moon. And in the photograph, you can see that she's represented by the moon and by a raven. And this card, this goddess card, shows up to represent her ability to move between heaven and earth. Freya comes with a message that there is new awakenings coming, that when one door closes, another one is opening. And in that switch from one side to another, there's a great deal of vulnerability at stake for all of us. The unknown. People tend to panic, and the panic is happening because part of the ego, the fear based, man made construct of culture, wants us to stay comfortable, wants us to stay safe, wants us to cling on to what we know because that's a place of safety, that's a place that we know. And you'll find the bigger, the higher, the more you'll find it. There I go again, speaking about you. That's something I want to work on, making the assumption that you and I feel the same way, think the same way. It's an opinion, it's a point of view. So I should speak from what I have found is that the deeper the fear, the more involved the fear is, the deeper the need to want to control the outcome. Many opportunities that we have available to us that come, they normally come long after we've let go of the need to control that outcome. So Freya comes to those who may be somewhat lost, knowing that there's transformation coming, big time transformation. In some cultures, some people have predicted that this year, 2021, will be a year of the great reveal. I've heard that from several sources. What will be revealed remains to be seen. I do feel myself, if I were to predict something, that there will be huge shifts in the way with which we treat one another. I believe that with the uprising that has come, the apparent apparition, meaning appalling, view of how people are treated, not with respect, how there is this uprising of violence in our culture. There's an uprising of division in our culture, that the masses are saying no. The terms like social justice, reformation, all of these things are on a global level, whether it's Myanmar, whether it is the Asian American community, whether it's the Latin American community, the African American community. It's interesting to me that this word American comes at the end of another culture. There's a double barrel culture, similar to how when people become married to one another, used to be long years ago, traditional culture said that the woman took the man's last name and essentially married into that man's family. Well, modern culture says, no, I'm a woman of my own right, and I am joining this man or this woman or this person because I choose it, not because I belong to it. So when we look at Freya showing up in today's message, I'm urging, I suppose, if I want to think of a different way, thinking, urging, asking you to look at what you're devoted to. The second card brings me to that point. The first card being Freya, goddess of the moon, balancer of the heaven and the earth, one that comes to protect, and mostly the feminine energy. And then we have Krishna, which is all about devotion. Krishna is seen in the picture as being a soft god, as being a kind god, was really heavily part of, well, basically, Krishna is a Hindu god that in some cultures is known as Mahavatar, the great avatar. Krishna embodies divine wisdom. Is a kind, loving God, a supportive guide. Basically, not unlike Saint Germain, a love of all things, animals, people, represents kindness, devotion, represents the love within, and comes to really say, whatever you're devoted to, whatever your spiritual guidance is, your commitment to it, your love of it, your devotion to it is being recognized. And this is a reminder that the universe loves you unconditionally. Providing your intention, let's just say you're going through a major change, which we all are, there's an evolution happening. And we'll take Freya's energy of being vulnerable but knowing you're protected. That's pretty huge. To accept the growth that's coming without any reservation, to become excited about something you really don't know the actual outcome of, to feel it in the tips of your toes, the soles of your feet, all the way up to beyond the crown of your head, to feel that much love and that much joy and that much devotion in all levels of your being without actually knowing what's going to happen is huge. These two cards in this message is saying, be devoted to lifting yourself up, even if you don't know how it's going to turn out. You know, I've used an analogy that a trapeze artist swings high above the circus ring, often without a net, and they swing back and forth. And there's another catcher way across the other side of the tent, way up in the air. His job is to catch the trapeze swinger when they get to the other side. The trapeze artist, at some point, has to be able to trust that the swing coming toward them will land at such a distance that they will have the ability to leap from one swing and catch the other before swinging over to the other side where the catcher is. There's a brief millisecond where the trapeze artist is not touching either swing. They are literally floating in the air before they catch the next swing. That's exactly what growth is really about. It's about the ability to close one door, knowing that the other door is open before the other door has revealed what it is or where it is. In many areas of your life and my life and the life that we're in, we've had these transitions, and the main ones would be your first day of grade school, the first love or crush you ever had on someone, the ending of a relationship before the beginning of another one, the start of a family. All of those major events when somebody discovers that they're about to be a parent. Usually it's the woman, because that's who it's growing, the baby. And there are all sorts of thoughts. Some it's a longing for, because this is a blessing they've waited for. Others, it's fear, the unexpected. It's a blessing, and it's also a bother. Not that the child is a bother. By the time the child enters into the world, there should be in place platform of unconditional love and that feeling of elation. The whole family should be, and typically is, excited with the arrival of this new person on the planet, who takes up their space in the physical world, whose job and purpose will be laid out in front of them in time and space and places that that child has no idea of knowing. The parent's job is to devote themselves to loving unconditionally, nurturing wholeheartedly. And then the child grows up, takes on a person, becomes a person long before the parents really recognize who that person is. And there's a time with which the teenage years, not very long, to a grown, mature adult, those 12 years, 13 years, 14, 15 years, is a short space of time. But to the person, it took a long time, because that's their whole life. And this teenager grows up with their own set of ideals. They branch out and become independent people. And those independent people are influenced by other people, typically their peers. They're influenced by anything they see, they hear, that they are devoted to. Sometimes the devotion of a teenager, a young person, is void and separated from the beliefs and the devotion of the parents who raised them. It's not wrong, it's not right, it just is what it is. And oftentimes, folks get caught up in the what should have, what could have, and it's always void of any kind of kindness, any kind of love. So these two cards today really come to say to you, and the message that goes with it, be comfortable with the cycles of the moon. Know that the stars in heaven and the support of the earth are all supporting you at the same time through whatever transitions you're making. Using the devotional power of Krishna, kindness, devotion, whatever you are putting your mind to, your heart to, your attention on, must and should be for the highest good of all concerned. So be it, so shall it be forever. And let's go into our daily message. I was sharing yesterday, I do a Zoom class, if you will, sort of a loose little devotional piece over on Zoom that is limited to anybody who wants to register and sign up. Yesterday we did a channeling, wonderful exercise to where I'm guided to guide someone else into what that feels like, what it feels like to see the spirit world, what it feels like to experience the spirit world, to observe what that is, because it's the unknown territory. I mean, seriously, have you ever wondered, how did the planet, this planet, Earth, get where it is? Does any one particular person know the evolution of the entire planet? And how does the planet play its role in the overall universe, the galaxy? We know because we've seen evidence in cameras and news reports that rockets shoot up past the atmosphere of this planet to other planets. They show pictures of it. Mars, Jupiter, the moon, and all these other stars that are up there, around there, floating about in their own sense of movement. So you really couldn't take the planet Earth and just obliterate it. Say, whoosh, get gone. Because then that upsets the balance of the entire galaxy. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not an astronomer. Not an astronaut. But it fascinates me that there's this assumption that this little piece that we are, think of one grain of sand in the Sahara Desert, that's about the size of it. And when you expand that consciousness out, huge, you take a big bird's eye view and you look at the size of planet Earth, including the oceans, the mountains, the valleys, the caverns, all the life forces that are on it, all the ecosystem that's part of it, and how the human being a species, being what they do, actually has a humongous part of that ecosystem, of that way we move forward. Then I get to thinking about something even bigger. Who are any of us, and I'm sort of kind of paraphrasing Marianne Williamson, who are any of us to say that we're not great people, that we're not amazing, that we can't do these incredible things? And why have we become so fearful of the changes that happen? What would happen, and I'm just saying this, if the sun never went around the earth? Because it really doesn't go up and down. Sun doesn't rise and doesn't set. The earth just turns. The moon doesn't rise and set. It stays where it is. The earth turns. And if you've ever been to a amusement park and you've got in one of those centrifugal drum things where you're against the wall and it spins this way and turns up that way and keeps spinning, that centrifugal force is pushing you against the side of that apparatus. The force of the spinning pulls you out that way. That's basically the magnetic pull that's moving the earth, the vibrational way we are on the planet, that we've chosen, for however long we've chosen to do it, to be rooted to the earth by vibrating at such a level that the gravity that the earth provides us, the oxygen, keeps us rooted down, but yet at the same time vibrates enough to spin, to turn. So if we said, well, let's just stop the earth, let's just not spin or turn around the sun, and I'm just using this hypothetically, there would be parts of the earth that would never see daylight ever again. It would stay permanently dark. There would be parts of the earth that would see a full moon permanently, always. All they would ever see in the sky was a full moon. And there would be parts of the earth that would see full sunshine, be baked. They'd never see the moon, the stars. It would never go up, would never go down. And my point with that analogy is to say, change is already here. The next change is on its way. The change after that is planned. This isn't an accident. This journey that you're on isn't just by chance. The bills that you have will get paid, or they won't. The food that you eat will be gathered and harvested and put on your plate, or it won't. Things are going to happen whether you're part of it or not part of it, because that's really the evolution of the pathway that you're on. What I'll add to it is fear comes from somewhere. The way to grow and get over it is to look at it and then work out, is it really so bad? Yes, there are things that we have visions of: fear of death, the fear of how we die, the idea that it could be painful, the idea that it could be devastating, the idea that transitioning from the earth, the one that we're in, to somewhere else is terrifying to a lot of people because they don't want it to happen. Well, it's going to happen at some point. We hope it won't happen today, but it's going to happen. And how it happens, I don't know if that's up to us. I would wonder if we're able to materialize things by thinking about them and focusing on them. I would want to materialize the good things, the great things, the better things, the kinder things. If I'm looking for someone to treat me kindly, lovingly, if I'm wanting someone to love me unconditionally without any doubts, that's what I have to represent, put forth, attract. And with all that to say, it isn't a lie that the fear that you put forward, the fear that you have that takes over you, that grips you, will manifest itself, because this is the vibration you're putting out there. And we get to match vibration with vibration. There's no difference between somebody who's self-made, a billionaire. They have the same fears as someone who doesn't have a dime has. Fear of losing something, not having something, not getting something. It's the real fear. The way to push past it is to just say, well, why not? Where does that come from? What makes me think I can't do it? What makes me think I can't go get it? We all know the sun isn't going anywhere, the moon isn't going anywhere, but the earth is. We're on it. So if the earth's going somewhere, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, we may as well be part of where it's going, which is in a circle, which brings you back around. Phases and circles, or cycles in this case. With that, let's read our message and get on with the meditation. We'll read for today, 29th. This is a bit different, but it kind of plays in. Oh, there we go. Move kindly or move gently into forgiveness. I like the word move kindly into forgiveness. It just rolled out. I never knew how much I blamed and hated myself. I never knew how much shame and self-contempt I picked up from situations I'd been through until I really forgave myself and felt how it feels. Loving yourself, forgiving yourself, accepting yourself, all of these feel different from judging yourself. Many of us have lived with so much judgment of ourselves that we take these feelings for granted. We just think that's how we're doomed to feel. Until we do forgive ourselves, we don't realize how much we need to and how good that feels. How absolutely terrific it feels. I was leery of forgiveness for many years. I thought forgiving implied judging. And because judging was wrong and I shouldn't do it, I didn't need to forgive. The problem was, whether right or wrong, I had judged myself, and now I needed forgiveness. Self-judgment sets us apart, separates us from the rest of the world in an undesirable way. Forgiving ourselves reconnects us to the world, to God, to ourselves. We can forgive ourselves for what we're doing wrong, what we've really done badly, what we think we could have done better. We can transcend our judgments of ourselves. Move gently into forgiveness. Love, forgive, and accept yourself. See how connected you, hang on one second, turn the page. See how connected you feel. See how free you really are and always have been. See how much better you feel. You know, self-judgment is one of those little tiny niggly things that happen when we least expect it. It comes from somebody telling you something that you believe, because somehow you put a lot of power and faith in their words or them. You know, a person when we're little says we're beautiful, we're this, we're that, the other thing. So we learn to trust that, forgive it, and learn to trust it and believe it. But then that same individual turns right around and says something mean and hateful. We believe that too. Sometimes the folks who are influenced by the most do it on purpose, think it's instilling respect in people, think it's instilling rules, regulations, it's how you should be. And so the fear of not doing as we're told, the fear of being told off, admonished, punished, hurt, becomes greater than the feeling of being free, of feeling good, of feeling wonderful. I've been a teacher for a good many years. I didn't intend to teach. That wasn't something I said I would do. But it ended up happening. And I got to the point where I realized, I wonder what makes me such a good teacher, because I said I was a lousy student. In curriculum ways, I was. Couldn't care less. Did not like sitting in a classroom, watching a blackboard and seeing somebody go on and on and on and on and on about something I really didn't care about. But give me a subject that I can get my teeth into, that I can really do well, that I can really exceed at. Oh, I'm there. I'm beyond there. I'm beyond all of that. And what I learned from that is you can take anybody and everybody forward by encouragement and by a little bit of confidence and by letting them know there's a light within them that's brighter than the light within anybody else. And they've got to find that light and they've got to go forward with it. Gently, deliberately, purposefully. And if somebody's stepping up in front of another group of people to teach them, they've got to be able to see many as one, because that one person sees one person. And with that, let's meditate. Feet flat on the floor, eyes closed, palms towards the roof. Take a big breath in. Release and let go. Bring your mind to the soles of your feet. Think of your feet as being grounded and completely connected to the Mother Earth, supported. Allow your mind and your consciousness to rise up through your physical body. And take your attention to all the major joints, ankles, knees, your hip joint where it comes to your pelvis, your tailbone anchors the base of your spine. Move up your lumbar spine into your belly. Your attention to your inner organs, your stomach. Move up into your rib cage where your heart and your lungs are. Let your mind travel up to your shoulders and your chest, neck, jaw. Down your arms into your fingertips, up through the back of your head to your ears. Move into your eyes and your eye sockets. Allow your attention to settle in the center of your forehead at your third eye center. Move your attention to the crown of your head and imagine an opening through the crown of your head upward beyond the heavens to the source energy that creates it all. We begin this meditation with a devotional prayer of protection. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for revealing to me that you're present. Thank you for cutting the ties that bind me to people, places, situations, stories, drama and nonsense that I no longer need, no longer want, and that no longer serve my purpose. I declare that I am safe and I am free, so it is and so shall it be. Move your hands over your heart, maybe one on your heart, one on your belly. Repeat after me, I am the keeper of my mind and my body wherever love flows. Fear is a stranger and love flows and is right here. I am the light, I am the love, and I shine the joy out. Find your mind, settle it on a place of gratitude. What are you grateful for? What are you happy about? What blessing has brought you joy? And sit with that energy, sit with that elation, sit with that lifted feeling and vibration. Let the love flow down from the Creator. Let the joy fill up your heart. Let it all expand out past your skin. Allow yourself to glow with the bright white light of love. Allow the light to enter and be so bright, so powerful that it burns off all and every piece of negativity. Now we give thanks to angels. Thank you, angels, for reminding us of your presence. Thank you for revealing what I need to know. I am willing to listen and to receive. Thank you to ascended spirits, master spirits. Thank you to my spirit guides and my own angels for this opportunity to serve. Just let your breath go in and out. With every breath in, relax even more. Settle your eyes at the center of your forehead. Breathe and relax deeply till you get to a space of no-thingness, where the mind is empty of thoughts. Deep relaxation. This is the place where you are devoted to yourself, your higher self. This is the place in the state of wisdom. This is how your guardian angel, the archangels, your spirit guides, the spirits of past loved ones connect with you. Devote yourself. Choose yourself. Just the mere pattern of your breath going in and out that feeling of elation, of joy, of complete protectedness, complete support. Let your mind move deeper, deeper into relaxation, to the place where there is only bliss. Listen to the sound of your breath, how it moves into your body and out of your body. You are now deeply relaxed, deeply centered. Allow your mind to see patterns, to see color. Continue relaxing and letting in the light, letting in the color. Bring your hands to prayer heart center, keeping yourself relaxed and keeping yourself safe, keeping your spirit open. Your thumb knuckles to your third eye center. And together we bow and say namaste. Thank you. Really quickly before I go, the feeling of keeping yourself open, maintaining that sense of deep relaxation. That's how the Earth Masters and Deepak Chopra comes to mind. That's how they're able to claim that they stay in a state of meditation for hours, sometimes days. The Tibetan monks that have for decades been persecuted in Myanmar just for being peace-loving, peace-giving, stay in that devotional space. It's a practice. We keep doing it. My experience of this, particularly in the last 12 months, because this time 12 months ago, I could have been gone in a different direction with fear of failure. And I'd been there before, and that didn't feel good. My daily devotion to myself, meditation, learning, opening, expanding, helped to not allow the return of all that fear. And then when there was a closing of one part of my stream of income, rather than look at it as a problem, I saw it as an opportunity. And at the time, I didn't know where any of it was going to go. And it was frustrating, and it was liberating, and it was tough, and then it was terrific. But all in all, the daily devotion to myself and meditation practice and the lifting kept me from becoming obsessed with fear or brought down with all of that negativity. So my nugget for all of you that are just starting meditation or facing real fear, start relaxing, start letting go, start freeing yourself. Find a cleansing activity that you can do. Clean out a cupboard, go through your closets, throw out all the wretched food that doesn't serve you. And we'll see each other tomorrow. Thank you so much. Lots of love. Bye.